Welcome to Popfuzion Live, the show where pop culture meets positivity. I'm your host, Francesca Ellana. Today, we're celebrating vision, determination, and the power of storytelling. We're talking to two powerhouse CEOs who are making major waves in independent film. Herb Jackson Jr., the force behind I Know Herb Jackson Studios, and Tristan Loraine, the founder of Fact Not Fiction Films, join us to talk collaboration, creativity, and the powerful story behind their award-winning project, Angel Fleet, and what's in the store for them next. Let's get right into it. Alrighty, well, thank you both so much for joining us on Popfuzion TV. We're so happy to have you. Starting off with Herb. So, as the CEO of I Know Herb Jackson Studios, your mission is to elevate independent productions through strategy, press, and promotion. What inspired you to get involved with Angel Fleet, and how did this project align with your company's vision?
This fine gentleman below me happened to be a person that I interviewed, previous airline pilot. We had a lot in common. Good guy. So I think it was probably, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 months after we had the initial interview, he approached me about joining Angel Fleet. So read the script and was like, oh my God, I love this. He's like, well, you can join up and be an executive producer. And I was like, what's that? Fortunately for me, he guided me along the way. So yeah, I guess that's kind of how it all started.
Oh, I'm so thankful that everything worked out. I think it's a powerful collaboration, and I'm so happy that you guys are working together still in 2025. That's amazing. So, Tristan, my next question is for you. As the founder and director of Fact Not Fiction Films, your work often focuses on powerful stories that spark public dialogue. How does Angel Fleet fit into the broader mission of your production company?
Well, thanks for having me on your show. So we normally focus on issues of public interest, and within that kind of sphere, as a former airline captain, I think it's really important to pay tribute to the lost aviators. So the Angel Fleet film, in essence, pays tribute to the lost aviators, and any pilot will know a pilot that's no longer with us anymore. And so that's an approaching Herb and Herb Jackson Studios with the story. Herb being an airline captain, it resonated, and I'm so glad he was on board because I think, we really knocked it out of the park with this film.
Yeah, you guys definitely do. And your backgrounds are both so incredible. Herb, specifically in addition to Angel Fleet, are there other upcoming projects that your studio is excited about? And what kind of stories are you most passionate about telling?
After Angel Fleet, Tristan and I collaborated on the short film Aguska, which deals with bullying specifically in sport. We partnered up with a anti-bullying organization there in the UK. And as you can see, we won the Audience Choice Award at our very first festival in Birmingham last November. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
that was an amazing thing, and we're on the festival run with Guska now for this year in 2025.
Wow. Well, congratulations on that. And Tristan, I know that you directed over 30 documentaries and independent films beyond Angel Fleet.
Well, where do you start? It's been such a thrill. It's been an amazing experience. But as you're American based, I think one of the stories I think really is kind of interesting. We made a documentary about a young girl learning to fly, and the series ends with her getting her private pilot's license. And I thought, well, how do we finish this? How could we do something epic? So I contacted the US Thunderbirds, the greatest display team in the world. Well, maybe the Blue Angels would disagree. And I said to the Thunderbirds, look, I got this young girl. How about you flying her? And she was beside me in the office when I sent the email off. And she just said, you know what? You're a great producer, but you're a dreamer. There's no way they will ever reply. And 2 months later, replied and said, you know what? We've looked at the series, we looked at the idea. We love what you do. We love the way you try to promote young females in aviation. So we're going to fly her. And she became the youngest girl ever to fly with the US Thunderbirds. And she had a hoot of a time. It was just epic. So for me, when you make films and you can have these moments where you can change somebody's life and give them this amazing experience, that's what it's all about. I love it. Every film has some unique moment in it, which really makes it special, and it's great.
That's awesome, especially history making. That's incredible. I love that you're doing like films with such a purpose. I think that's so important, especially right now.
Yeah.
Herb, you've built a reputation on helping indie filmmakers go from idea to impact. What advice would you give to up and coming creators?
My advice would be to believe in yourself and your project because, no one else might not. You almost have to have kind of I call it a obsessive delusional way about you. Similar like with Angel Fleet, we're not finished with that. I'm working to get it on, streaming services. We're working as we speak on making it a feature film. So you got to have that belief because it's a 24/7, thing, whether you're looking at marketing or, editing or, building your team. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I think it all starts right here. You really have to have a belief in yourself. And if you do, don't, the haters are going to be out there. Don't listen to them. Keep doing what you're doing and it'll eventually work out.
So for anyone watching, ignore those haters, okay? Keep going. Don't ever give up on your dreams. Keep going.
Yes.
Specifically for Tristan, as someone who's navigated both aviation and filmmaking, I know we talked about like the triumphs, but what is like one lesson that continues to stick with you today?
I think my motto in life is everything's possible. So, like, if you want the best actor, go and get the best actor. If you want the best location, go and get the best location. There's always some solution. You've always got to think of if you're a producer and you're on a really low budget and you want to film at one of the greatest hotels in the world, what's in it for them? What can you give them to make it interesting to them? If you want to film like an Angel Fleet, we had to film a really difficult gliding scene, which is really, really difficult with the camera really close up. So then you've got to have access to the planes to do all of this. But if you can promote that business as well, then they get something out of it. So everybody wins. And I would like to take you back on the point about Herb said before. As a producer director, we just made this film Aguska, which won. And it's really interesting because a film is a team effort, and we'd shot the film, and we were quite good with the happy with the edit. And Herb watched it and said, "Nah, you need to add this." And we're like, "Really?" And we thought, "Oh God, okay, let's go and do that." And we did it. And then we watched the film again and went, "Oh, that was a great idea. Why didn't we think about that?" So it really is important to never get too like protective about things. You must remember you're working as a team and you wanted to deliver the best product, and you must listen to the input from the creative team, from all members. And even if you don't agree with it, you might be wrong. So you've got to do what's best for the project, not what's best for you as a person.
What is one piece of advice that you both wish that you learned at the beginning of your journey that you want to share with people who are watching so they won't make the same quote unquote mistakes?
I think fundamentally, if you're going to make a feature film, make sure you use the best talent possible. Don't try to use somebody because they're a friend or whatever, and they might have a good ranking on IMDb. The cast is vital. Getting the best cast possible really makes a huge difference. So even if you think they may be unattainable, go for it. In my first feature film, I thought, God, it would be great to work with John Rhys Davies. And people said, oh, he's never going to work with you. He's done all the Lord of the Rings stuff. Just approached him, looked at the script, said, okay, I'm in. Because that experience of working with the highest quality people makes you grow so much more as a filmmaker yourself. And it's amazing the different levels of ability, whether it be in cinematography or acting or sound recording or whatever. Aim to try and go with the best people possible, but also as a company, we have always, on every production ever done, always try to offer opportunities to new people who have virtually no experience at all, because it's important to remember that we all started somewhere. So try and give people opportunities because, people got to learn somewhere, and the best way is to give people that opportunity to learn.
So for me, I would say, well, two things. One, watch what you wish for because it just might come true. That saying, I heard that when I was a kid, and literally, things I dreamed about or people I wanted to meet or money I wanted to make, whatever, all of a sudden it can't occur. And it goes back to my earlier statements about believing in yourself. Believe in yourself. I like Tristan had said, I don't think there's really, anything that could stop you. I mean, of course, you do need good fortune, health, all that good stuff. But yeah, that, and also dream bigger, literally too. The things I've achieved in my life, I'm like, this is pretty cool, but you literally, like Tristan said, if you want the top, dream for the top. And if you just follow wrong or too short, hey, you went a long ways. So always believe in yourself, dream as big as possible. And like I say, watch what you wish for, because it just might come true.
Wow, talk about visionaries. Herb and Tristan are truly changing the game for indie filmmakers. That's a wrap on a powerful conversation. To find out more to collaborate with them, check out the info on our screen.